What's up, people? How you doing? This is your boy Gerald. It is Tuesday the 14th, 2014. How are you? How was your weekend? I hope it was blessed. I hope it was peaceful and very harmonious, because you deserve that. You truly deserve that. So it's very, very imperative that you sidestep the negativity, but you've got to be grounded enough where you are in your life to be able to see the obstacles and the pitfalls that are placed before you to navigate. So I'm just getting in, and I had the pleasure of checking out ZANE'S Addicted. I actually got to see it when it opened, and there was a lot of synchronicities in there, in that movie. I highly recommend those who have not seen it. You ain't got nothing to do, check it out. You will definitely see a lot of things that you may have had to navigate in your life in regards to relationships, as well as you may possibly see things that you may personally have to, you may identify in your own life. You know, a life without constant evolution is a life that is stagnant. Therefore, it is very important that you continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? Because you live and breathe doesn't mean that that's the end goal. Nah, don't work that way. So, my kings and queens, how are you? Doing all right? First of all, I want to humbly say thank you for allowing me to just have a moment in your life. Just a moment. See what old Gerald's got to say and what wish to share. Also, thank you for each and every person that has liked, not liked, subscribed. And if by chance this is the first time you stumbled onto my channel, it's not by chance. Maybe this is something that you need to hear. Maybe this is a validation for where you are in your life, and you're trying to contemplate which way to go forth. Now remember, you only have one life, so it's very, very important that you allow yourself to make the best choices for you, because there is only one life. You have one life, so it's very important that you protect it. That's right. So if you woke up this morning and you had a burden on your heart, or you went to bed last night and somebody placed the clouds of emotion over you, or made you feel that you are unworthy, I'm here to tell you something. You are loved. But it is very important that you love yourself first. You see your worth first. And by all means, ensure that you have your boundaries in place. Now let me throw a disclaimer out there, because when I talk about your personal boundaries, this does not mean to give you carte blanche to be an asshole. No. Does not mean to have a hypersensitive position of showing your assertiveness. No. Because the people that truly see your worth are only going to not only grow with you, they're going to invest in you. They're not going to deplete you. They're not going to tear you down. And by all means, they will not deliberately try to hurt you. Because you got to understand, y'all, for those that are in a relationship, I will constantly put this out. Love does not hurt. Now, if you're walking around scratching your head and saying, is it me? But it feels like it ain't you, and you can own everything that you represent, then you have to be honest with yourself and look at it for what it is. Maybe it isn't you. Maybe it is them. Maybe there's the insecurities in them, because they may be seeing you evolving, you're growing, you're coming into your own, and it terrifies them. Maybe they're afraid that if you actually step into who you are destined to be, which is something that cannot be avoided, it can only be delayed. Remember what I just said. Your destiny cannot be avoided. It can only be delayed. Maybe that person is terrified that when you connect the dots, that you're going to walk out of their lives. And guess what? I look at it like this. If you've done the work, what you got to worry about? What do you have to worry about, right? You know, we go through peaks and valleys all the time. That's what life's all about. We go through them. And man, look at my hair. My hair is long as I don't know. Wow. See how God does? This is all in a year and a half, almost 2 years. I gotta. Yeah. Alright, cool. Because I'm not a. Okay, there they are. Alright. So, needless to say, I got a chance to attend seeing the movie Addicted. And I'm not going to put no spoilers in there, but there was a lot of eye-opening things that were represented in that movie. Yeah, I know that, ladies, I know a lot of you wanted just to go there because of the juiciness of the book. And I know that some of you just wanted to see who were portraying the parts. But I do hope that for those who actually went to see or going to think to consider going to see this movie, to actually take in what the movie had many messages in it. So I hope you reel that in too. But ultimately a movie's a movie for entertainment purposes too. But like I said, there was a lot of messages in there, and you know, for myself, not to sound winded, you know, my goal is, my direction is to become a psychologist. That's my purpose, and that's my journey that I'm on now. So I saw a lot of things that correlated together, and I was like, wow, you know. And there was a lot of things that I saw that actually impacted myself, and it was like, wow, okay, I get it, I understand. I didn't know that, validated that. So, with that being said, I noticed that, or I'm going to ask you this, haven't you noticed that more and more that you look on TV, it seems more and more they project things to become more egocentric. People are more shallow. It seems like people don't have core values anymore. It seems like, you know, the goal is to grab the brass ring at all costs, even if that means you have to compromise yourself. So it made me think, well, what's the point of having life and having everything you acquire to have it but not truly enjoy it? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like, who told you that you have to burn through your life to get to your end goal? It's kind of like, for example, envision where you live at, right? Your neighborhood, your borough, wherever. And say you got a local 7-Eleven, corner store, wherever you at. And you normally go there, you just drive there, get what you gotta get, come on home, right? But on one given day, you opt to walk. You opt to walk over there. And as you walk by, you're taking in things you normally would take for granted. And just so happens, same route, nothing changed, you notice there's a beautiful flower growing where it should not. It captivates you. And as you take it in, you're kind of struck in awe because you're wondering, like, how did this beautiful flower get in this environment here? But guess what? It was meant for you at that moment to see it. Because if you had stayed into your routine, you would have never saw it. You know, that's how your higher power does. I know him as my Lord Jesus Christ, but I'm humble enough to know that he's one of many names. And I realize that as you progress in your life, your higher power will place flowers in your path to take notice, to challenge the way you think, to validate how you act. How many times have you been somewhere or made a split impulse decision when in actuality you'll come to realize nothing's done by impulse? And then you either are glad that you made that choice, or you regret that you did. The reason why these things are revealed is to spark insight. It's to validate the wisdom and the knowledge that you have inside you. You do understand your most prized commodity that you will ever have is time. You can't buy time. I put that out in a couple videos ago. I said, you know what? I will give $1,000 to the first person that could bring back yesterday. You know? And it's very, very true. When you think about the connections you made with people, some short-term, some long-term, and all of a sudden they're gone, and you're like, wow, you know. Some people can't get out your life quick enough. And then there's some that you wish that you could hold on to forever, you know. But I'm a firm believer of this, y'all. If it's divinely meant for you to have, it will be there when it should be there. Sometimes God will turn around and show you something, and just as quick as it came, just as quick as it leaves. It's there like a beacon on your path. It serves nothing but like, look, look, look. But a lot of times when we're not aware and we want to go off of instinct, some of our greatest experiences are experienced through disappointment. Sometimes it will challenge not only physically where you're positioned, but it will actually haunt you emotionally. The reason for that is he wants to know, did you get the message? You know, and I'm trying to keep it even kill about what I'm trying to convey. Listen, I'm going to say this to the subscriber. I got your message. You're going to be fine. You are. Sometimes you will find yourself where you don't know if you're coming or going, and you're in a position where you must validate. So what do you mean, Gerald? What do you mean validate? Okay, have you realized, have you noticed or ever had a situation where you're progressing in a direction, but what you know is a reality dissolves? It could be a financial position. It could be a personal connection. Have you ever had that happen where everything's going good for you, and then all of a sudden, then the people that you want to share with, they ain't there? You're like, well, wait a minute, and it can be very, it can be scary sometimes, or vice versa. You're in a place where you're kind of feeling stagnant, and it feels like you got an abundance of people that can't help you. The reason why you're seeing that is because of the fact that he wants you to reprioritize your direction. Haven't you noticed when things are going on that are going really difficult in your life, there's always people around that want to distract you from what you need to focus on? That's not by chance, y'all. That's by him. Now you do understand this. For those that do not, I mean, unfortunately, and you have a right to feel this way. I mean, you have free will. You have some people that believe that they can navigate their life without a spiritual connection. My question to you is this: how is your life working without it? Because you have to own that. That's kind of like having your favorite meal without seasoning on it. Your spirituality enhances what you are for now. And you're worth it. You're worth it. So let me go back to what I wanted to initially say about the movie Addicted. I'm glad that they put a different angle on it, because they could have swayed the dynamic between genders. They could have really done that. But one thing that I did notice when I was in the theater, that there was a lot of chatter going on, and there was women, loud, real loud. And I thought it was kind of amazing to hear this. But when things were being displayed on certain scenes, you could hear a pin drop. You could hear a pin drop. And I realized something, that the people that weren't in that audience with me, a lot of them could relate to the situations. And it was hitting too close to home. I saw people visioning. I saw people wringing their hands. I saw people doing the Malcolm X pose. I saw people tapping their feet. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this movie is speaking to the subconscious. This movie is actually tapping into some wounds. I don't know who I'm supposed to. I don't know who this is. I feel this right now. I know there's somebody right now that you're in a place in your life where you're tired. You're really, really tired emotionally. And it's starting to have effects on you physically. There's an emptiness within you right now that you've been holding on for a long time. And you've actually convinced yourself that because of the environment that you have elected to be in, that whatever that was being displayed, you're actually buying into the bullshit. Excuse my French. You're actually thinking that, hey, maybe I'm not meant to be loved. Maybe I'm supposed to just play a position and take whatever is given. You know, just like a little rodent. Like, okay, here's these little scraps, and you know, and you're starting to believe that that's why you're here, to serve other people. I'm here to tell you, you only serve one person, one entity, and he loves you. But you will not find peace of mind by sacrificing your body. And I'm going to go there and say that. Because the more you do it, the more empty you become. That's why having multiple partners, sometimes at the same time, makes you feel, it makes you feel like a piece of trash. It makes you feel like your existence doesn't matter, and you've had the nerve to actually say, well, you know what? If I go and get these pills right here and take a bottle of them, my pain will end. I can finally put it behind me. Well, guess what? You know what? Suicide is not the answer. It ain't. Being a functional alcoholic is not the answer. Living in denial is not the answer. The answer is taking accountability for your life, protecting and honoring yourself for everything that you need. It's up there. You have a plethora of support waiting to be revealed to you the moment that you humble yourself to Him. He wants to change your life. He wants to change it. You know, haven't you noticed, you always, I'm not going to bash, I'm not going to bang, but I will say this. Why is it when you hear people talk about, take a general statement, like you hear women say, excuse me, all men are dogs, right? You never hear the woman say, but I make bad choices on the men I allow in my life. You will never hear that. Because that takes ownership. Because that's truth. And people will try to change whatever they have to make that truth fit their reality. But all you're doing is lying to yourself. And the question is why? Why? You know, put it this way. I was reading an article last night, and this woman, she was married for a long time to this guy, and He just treated her like crap. But she was she was very optimistic, you know. She was like, nah, I was committed. You know, nah, I was down. And it wasn't until I got tired of being tired that I started to see things that I didn't. And she said that she realized from conversations past that every relationship that her husband had been in, they were all the same type of people, for one, and they all ended the same. But women, why do you think that when the first thing that you have to make a choice to do, no, the first thing you have to do is realize you cannot change a man. He is who he is. He is who he is. And he will only change when he's ready. And that goes for women too. Human beings. But, excuse me, many times we feel we see the goodness in a person and try to project in that one aspect. But guess what? It might be that one aspect and everything else is terrible. It's not fair that you sitting in misery. Nah. If you over here stressing over somebody and they got your emotions all messed up, you're not eating right, your emotions are going like this and that, that's your environment. Ain't nothing good gonna come out of that. Number one, because they don't value who you are. And a lot of times, they're actually the same things they're complaining to you about. Those are the things that they're really doing. But they want to make you sound like you crazy. You ain't crazy. You just got low boundaries. So you may be wondering, family, well, why, Daryl, are you bringing this up right now? Because number one, I got a couple emails from both, one from a guy and one from a girl, and you're both going through the same thing at the same time. This is a human thing. Everybody has relationship problems, but you got to decide on what's important. Is it worth compromising your happiness? No one can make you happy. Did you hear what I said? No one can make you happy. You make yourself happy first. They only validate the state of mind that you are in at that moment. Just like a person that loves you. A person only validates what's here first. That's why a lot of times that's why we have so many shallow people in the world, because they think that if I have what it looks good on the outside, it'll make up for the things I don't have inside, only to end up in pain. Why? So I asked this girl. She wrote me. I responded back, and I'm gonna keep it generic. Don't worry about that. So she told me about her past, and there were all these men. And I asked her, I said, you know what? Just out of curiosity, you don't have to answer this, but why did you go from one to the other? The problem with that was she had abandonment issues. She didn't want to be she felt that she didn't want to live her life alone. She needed somebody in transition. So there was a lot of rebound relationships going on behind the scenes. And you know, if it was sparkly, she went after it. So I kind of was kind of bold with it. I said, you know, not to sound disrespectful, but don't you get tired of different men jumping on top of you. I said I can never understand that because I'm a man. But if I was a woman, constantly another guy's laying on top of me. You're not supposed to be the pincushion. That's why it's not working, because, you know, just from a spiritual standpoint, every time that you choose to be intimate with another man, your spiritual connection and theirs intertwine, just like the DNA. So whatever bad traits they got, they're going to come into you, and you're going to inhibit the same things that's a common thread. That's what a soul tie is about. And there's nothing, that's why one night stands will never work, my family. They don't. One night stands only is like a door that's closed. You can walk past that door as many times as you want, but if you open it, you got to be prepared to deal with what's on the other side of it. So you got to make a conscious choice, because to look good don't mean it's good for you. You know? And I've noticed you have a lot of women in today's society that are uneducated emotionally, because they copy what whoever the prominent female that was in their development, they emulate what they do. That's where that proverbial, the apple don't fall far from the tree. And a lot of times we gravitate to those people that have those same traits. But what's the common denominator? These people are not happy. They end up paying a price so dear because they realize they've wasted time. Their bodies, in fact, has been, you know, it's like there's a price. But guess what? I'm a firm believer of this. I don't give a damn if you was Sally that walked the block. I don't care about all that. When you consciously make a decision to look yourself in the mirror, that is the moment that you'll find the courage to change your life. But if you continue to stay in that fog of denial, all you're going to do is constantly attract the wrong people. That's kind of like being a horse and someone jumping on your back after two people that jumped off. Why? Why? I even heard a woman tell me one time, well, why buy the cow when you can get it for free? So you are rationalizing your existence to an animal, which means you serve as a means for what? Your life is not and should not be a hash point from when you were born and when you end. If there's no love in between that hash point, that is that's a life that was wasted. Because that hash point is your existence, your responsibility, why you came here to begin with. I don't wish bad on nobody, my family. I believe that everybody deserves to be happy. But you cannot be happy until you decide to have the courage to change. If your life is not working for you, if there's things in your life that is not working for you, you got to ask yourself, why do you continue to do it? And have the courage to change it. But see, there's so many stigmas out there, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm the first one to tell you, hey, look, if you're in an environment that you feel that you can't communicate the way you would communicate behind closed doors, then you need to gravitate to someone that will be able to hear you, to understand you, and give you the sound advice you do. See, I was in a conversation, I'm going to wrap this up real quick, with some guys at work. And we were talking about some stuff, and I said, haven't you noticed when you look at, if you look at the media, like movies, shows, and they always show a setting where someone is in a therapy situation, it's always uneasy. There's always some fear in that. That person is, but usually what is being projected is usually that person that you're seeing, what they won't tell you is they've rock bottom, they've run out of excuses to convince themselves, and 9 times out of 10 they don't have no other option. So it is like a life and death situation for them. They have to change, either change or die. But I'm here to tell you this, y'all. If your environment is not honest with you, they're taking advantage of you. You're playing a role, and you have a vice. You saying, what do you mean, Gerald? You might be around that person because of what they do or how they make you feel. Do you realize there are millions and millions of people walking around with masks on and don't have the courage to be themselves because they're afraid that if they're themselves, they won't feel accepted. They won't feel accepted because they don't accept themselves. So now they have a intra-moral issue, which is nothing but a disorder. What is a disorder? Disorder is nothing but a behavior that can be changed or augmented. So, how much is your life worth? How much is your life worth? Do you not think you're worth it? If you're navigating life with the physical, you're using this to navigate through life. I'm here to tell you, guess what? God is the greatest comedian ever. He will put a block there so it don't work. That's why players always get played. That's why they say whatever's done in the dark. Haven't you noticed when you try to do something that you ain't supposed to do, it always has a way of revealing itself in the wrong times. Why? Because it was never supposed to do. It was never supposed to be there anyway. So let me bring this home. At the sound of my voice, if you're going through some emotional stuff, have the courage to look back to where it first began. There's a lot of us that, and I used to be this way too, that had burdens, man. You had shit up in your, excuse my French, up inside of you that you either did not let go or didn't know how to make peace with. You gotta do that, because that's what's robbing you of your life essence. Now, here's a downside of that. Your environment, they see that, and they're using that against you. If it's not love, if it's not admiration, if it's not growth, you gotta ask yourself, what's the end goal? Why you think these celebrities out here all walk around paranoid? Why? Because they don't even have the courage to be themselves. So they have this mindset that, well, bigger is better. No, it ain't. Even Biggie said it best. More money is more problems. Some of the best things you'll ever have in life is free. But it starts when you decide to love yourself and put your worth first. So if you gotta step away from something because it's toxic, you'll thank yourself that you did. But if it is meant for you to have in your life, shouldn't it evolve as well? Even if it means indefinite separation. Come on, man. You deserve it. My queens. Because you make a choice to show your strength. Like, I'm gonna be a queen bee. Guess what? Every time you choose to take a assertive position, you know the one. She's loud. She's obnoxious. She's arrogant. You know what you're seeing? You're looking at a person that is broken. They're damaged. And until they have the courage to get the support, therapy, the love, starting with themselves first, everything and everyone they come in contact will feel that pain. That's not your walk. I know I'm talking to somebody right now. Put your boundaries back where they should be. Respect yourself. And always, as I always put it out there, if you put God first in everything you do, why would you suffer? Now, we do have to take accountability for our actions. And that's why we go through seasons. We do. But guess what? What you have intended for your life down the road, you'll be so glad that you did. You'll be so glad. Because you're worth it. Love to hear from you guys. And if you're going through something, need some unbiased advice, or just validation, do not hesitate. Drop me a line below. Like and subscribe. And I would love to hear from you. As I always say, God is praying for you. You know I am. You see, I see your work. And for that, it helps me discern mine. And you know what? Your life should not be filled with turmoil, strife, pain. Life is not a battle, nor should love be. It should feel like breathing, because it's meant for you. So have courage to claim your life, y'all. Your life is not the hash point. There's much, much more. Love to hear from y'all. Stay blessed. Love yourself.